In this episode of the Butt Chronicles, we take a look at Beavis and Butt-Head Episode 4, Give Blood.
Welcome to Industrial Industries World Radio's The Butt Chronicles.
You said welcome.
Oh God.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and ass munches alike. Welcome to the Butt Chronicles, your audio guide to everything Beavis and Butt-Head. And I'm your host, DJ Glowing Ice. And today we are getting into episode 4 of Beavis and Butt-Head. This one's called Give Blood. It aired on MTV March 8th, 1993. It's written by Glenn Eichler, David Felton, and Mike Judge, directed by Mike Judge. Okay, so let's jump right into this episode. It's Beavis and Butt-Head in Give Blood. The episode starts on Beavis and Butt-Head's TV in their house as it plays a movie trailer that shows an action hero pulling the spleen out of a man's body. The movie is called The Intern. Cut to Beavis and Butt-Head sitting on the couch. Butt-Head says, "Whoa, that looks cool. We could go if we had some money." Thought bubbles then appear above both the boys' heads, with light bulbs fizzling on and off. Next, they're walking on the sidewalk in their neighborhood singing, "Don't wanna fall in the mud, all I wanna do is sell my blood." Beavis asks how much the blood drive pays for a gallon of blood. Butt-Head advises Beavis to not take their first offer. He also adds that they give you a big old bottle of Mad Dog 2020 to drink before you donate. The boys arrive to the blood drive mobile and look at it from the outside. Around the blood mobile are all different kinds of signs that read different things like, "Thanks, blood donors. We sure wish we could pay you. We need your free blood. Give blood and get a lousy cookie in return. Thank you for giving your blood without thought of compensation." As the boys look at all these signs, Butt-Head says, "Whoa, we're gonna be rich." Inside the bloodmobile, it pans all around the inside. Country music plays in the background as tables and cots are completely covered in blood. There's also syringes and bags of blood that are hanging everywhere. Panning all the way to the right is a nurse at her desk. The nurse, with square-framed eyeglasses and blonde poofy hair, approaches the boys and asks if she could help them. "We got blood," Butt-Head says. Beavis chimes in, "Wanna buy some?" The nurse then asks if they're 18 or older. No," says Butt-Head. She asks if they've been screened for diseases of the circulatory system. "No," says Beavis. The nurse then asks if the boys are on any kind of medication. Both boys simply laugh with cracked looks on their faces. "Good enough. Beggars can't be choosers," says the nurse, in which then she tells the boys to sit down and roll up their sleeves. As the nurse approaches Beavis and Butt-Head with the needles, the boys get nervous and they start to shake. Beavis asks about the Mad Dog 2020. Butt-Head asks if they get anything first. The nurse replies, "Yes, the thanks of the community." The boys scream as the needles stab into their arms and blood bursts out of them. The nurse starts talking to the boys about what to do when the bags start getting full. Then the phone rings, and the nurse gets distracted and leaves to answer the phone. As the bags fill enormously large full of blood from the boys, the nurse at her desk realized that the person that's calling is a dude named Tyler. She turns away from the boys and starts yelling at Tyler, saying, "Of course I sound mad. I bear your 3 children, seen you through detox 4 times, then you vanished for 15 years, and now you call me at work? How bad do you think I miss you? Well, guess again. You're the saddest excuse for a..." The nurse stops yelling at Tyler when she turns around and sees that Beavis and Butt-Head have their blood bags larger than they are. She turns back to the phone real quick and says to Tyler, "I gotta go. Come around 9 and wear that mesh undershirt." Then she hangs up. She runs to the boys, who are now skeleton thin from all of their blood being sucked into the bags. She tells them to forget about the donation for the day and gives them each a Fig Newton. Cut to the shot of the Bloodmobile from outside, and the boys walk out, carrying the huge bags of blood over their shoulders. They then collapse onto the ground. Back at home, the boys are sitting on the couch, skinny and drained of blood, as the needles in their arms are still pumping blood out of them. On their TV, it shows another movie trailer for a gory murder film called Bloodbath. Butt-Head laughs and says, "Bloodbath, that sounds cool." He then grabs his big bag of blood and throws it on Beavis, making the bag burst and leaving Beavis completely red and covered in blood. Beavis, dripping with blood, says, "That was cool." And that's the end of episode 4 of Beavis and Butt-Head, Give Blood. Now let's check out the music videos that played in this episode. Alright, first up we've got Olivia Newton-John with Physical. Butt-Head says, "This sucks," then mentions that a dude's fat. And they change it. The Ramones, "I Wanna Be Sedated." The boys headbang repeatedly throughout the whole video. So, needless to say, they like it. Big Daddy Kane, featuring Barry White, with "All of Me Wants All of You." They laugh. Butt-Head says that dude's pitching a tent, and then they change it. Judas Priest with "Painkiller." The boys headbang to it. Butt-Head says he feels like killing himself, then goes on and says that they're guilty, and "See you in hell, Rob Halford." Concrete Blonde with "Bloodletting." The boys see a frog in the video, which makes them scream, "Frog baseball!" They like the song and they jam to it. And then we get into airings after the first time, and they have alternate sets of videos. So in these alternate sets, we have Megadeth with "Symphony of Destruction," the Gristle mix. Butt-Head says these guys are cool. They headbang to it. Beavis says, "Dave Mustaine rules." Butt-Head says, "Fire is cool." Sinead O'Connor with "Nothing Compares to You." Beavis says this sucks, but Butt-Head doesn't change it. Halfway through the video, it shows the boys passed out on the couch and drooling. They then inevitably change it. Scatterbrain, "Don't Call Me Dude." Throughout the video, Beavis and Butt-Head say "dude," and they headbang to it. Jackal, the Lumberjack. The boys think it's cool. Butt-Head says chainsaws are cool. And "Did you see Scarface? That was cool." And then we actually have a second alternate set of music videos. I think this episode probably has the most music videos out of any other Beavis and Butt-Head episode. But what they see in the second alternate set is David Lee Roth, Yankee Rose. And Butt-Head says about the two chicks in the video, "Look at all those big thingies. I like when you could see the bottom of the thingies. That's cool." And then when it's the shot of just David Lee Roth, Beavis says, "This is boring." And then they change it. Then there's Gwar with "The Road Behind." The boys love Gwar a lot, and Butt-Head says Gwar kicks ass. Then there's a list of other music videos that we've gone over before in previous episodes, such as Kiss Rock and Roll All Night, Guns N' Roses Garden of Eden, Technotronic with "Move This," Sir Mix-a-Lot with "Baby Got Back," LL Cool J with "Big Old Butt," Rex in Effect with "Rump Shaker," and then Sir Mix-a-Lot again with "Baby Got Back" with just a partial piece of the video. So there's your music videos. Now let's get into the behind the scenes and fun facts. Certain scenes of the episode, preferably inside the Bloodmobile, you'll see Beavis wearing a Slayer shirt and then a Metallica shirt in the next second. This episode was released on the History of Beavis and Butt-Head collection on VHS and DVD, and along with episodes 2 and 3, Mike Judge also hates this episode. IMDb, the Internet Movie Database, gives Beavis and Butt-Head's Give Blood a 7 out of 10. Now, let's get into my review. Alright, so we're on episode 4. Episode 3 is the same level of quality of animation. I do like some of the writing in this episode, and the things I liked about it were just like all the things that the signs said, The whole conversation the nurse had with Tyler, it's just classic stuff that I can relate to in my own life. Not me personally, but I've known people that are in those kinds of situations, so it really hits home for me. And this is like the first earliest episode that I can remember seeing as a kid in reruns. And I just remember the big blood bags above Beavis and Butt-Head, and inside the blood bags there's like added stuff. It's not just blood. You see little bits of bone flipping around inside of it and all that. So needless to say though, this episode still isn't the best Beavis and Butt-Head episode out there. And it's actually quite low on the scale of 1 to 10. And I'm going to have to give Beavis and Butt-Head Give Blood a 4 out of 10. It's a slight step up from episode 3. I'll give it a 4 out of 10 just because of some of the great lines and great dialogue written in this episode. So there we go. That's Beavis and Butt-Head Give Blood with my review, a 4 out of 10.